Welcome to JMR Talks. Today we will discuss about great resignation, great reshuffle, and what is that company needs to do to retain their talent. Why people are leaving their jobs? This phenomena started somewhere in 2021 when the uncertainty got what we call weighted little bit, and this phenomena of mass resignations, increased turnover, is being referred as what we call great resignation. This concept of great resignation was coined by and predicted by none other than psychologist Anthony Claude. Now these people who are leaving the jobs, are they not willing to work? No, they are willing to work. They are leaving their jobs in search of what we call jobs with some flexibility, and that phenomena is being now referred as what we call great reshuffle. Now what is the issue? This phenomena of great resignation is found in our country as well. Now Infosys fourth quarter results are out for the financial year 2021-22, and as per the financial results announced, between January and March 2022, 80,000 what we call employees have left the Infosys. Infosys is supposed to be one of the what we call best practicing what we call company after TCS and all that, and it is reported that Infosys is thinking of invoking the non-compete clause. That means which bans people from joining few companies and also their clients with whom they were working for the last what we call 12 months. But as per our contract act, whether this this non-compete clause is what we call holds good. No, because people are at liberty to practice the kind of profession they work, the kind of company they wish to work for. Now when companies like Misho, Zerodha, they are going fully what we call remote, and when companies are increasingly investing on employee benefit programs, focusing more on what we call mental health rather than physical health, in addition to physical health, whether this invoking non-compete clause will help. I personally feel that it will rather aggravate the situation, and people might what we call be what we call induced to what we call leave their jobs. Now what is the prevailing scenario? The scenario is such that people are burnt out, people are what we call unengaged. Gone are those days when Milton Friedman used to say money alone matters, dhanam moolam idam jagat. But in today's environment, given that today's composition of the workforce, the mere perks may not be enough to what we call motivate people anymore. They need what we call something else. So what is that needs to be done for retaining the talent and what we call restraining the people from leaving their jobs? Achievers Workforce Institute, they have interviewed more than 4,200 employees, 1,600 HR leaders across the globe in February, and their analysis of the what we call mass data, what we call ultimately came out with what we call just two words. These two words will be able to what we call solve the problem. Now what are those two magic words? Employee recognition. We all know that we the human beings crave for recognition. Now what is that what we call needs to be done for retaining the talent and preventing the people from leaving the jobs? Number one, a mere thank you may not be enough. As we all know, employee recognition leads to better engagement, higher retention, and increased productivity. Today, people are won't be happy if you just tell them that you're happy with their work as such. They wish to know, are they making a difference to the organizational performance or to my co-workers what I call happiness, etc. Now this reminds me of the Daniel Pink's what I call three principal motivational elements, which he has listed out in his great book The Drive: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Today, people wish to know that are they making a difference. For instance, during my faculty internship at Dr. Reddy's laboratories, the one quote really what I call caught my attention. The medicines you make, I mean, the medicines you make, I mean, what are cures the diseases. See the purpose. The purpose of the company, what you call, motivates, inspires what you call people at Dr. Reddy's laboratories. Second, camaraderie, not compensation. Recognition outweighs fair salary as a driver. We all must have heard about the Harvard, studies, 75-year-old study, wherein they try to what you call find out what keeps a person what you call healthy and happy. And ultimately they found that quality relationships. When we look at Gallup's 12 employment engagement questions also, we find that the worker or the employee is bothered about, does he have a friend at the workplace? Is there somebody to what you call recognize his work? Etc. But the most important thing, is that today the manager holds the key. As per the Gallup study, it is they who play a key role in creating a strong and vibrant work environment. 70% of the variation in employee productivity is what is called held by the managers. But are these managers, what is called properly trained? Now, the research what is called, shows whether by what is called Harvard or what is called, MIT or any other and all that, what is called, this is 90% of what is called, human resource leaders, they say that we are doing enough for what is called employee recognition. But 41% of the employees say only yes. And many of them, what is called, they acknowledge that they are not yet, aware about how to what is called communicate meaningful recognition as such. So, going by the Gallup study of only 1 out of 5 managers being engaged, the pertinent question arises as to, are we selecting the what is called the right managers? Having selected the managers, are we what is called, training them properly? So, overall we can say that recognition sends a message across the people that companies values them, company values their contribution. But when we are talking about what the recognition, the most important thing to keep a note is that the frequency of communication, the frequency of the recognition, the timing and the specific, and also the value it what creates. The value created, communicated and delivered. So employee recognition should be the what key or core of company's what DNA. I would like to conclude by sharing with you 2 excellent quotes in this regard. People work for money, no doubt about that, but they go to extra mile for recognition, praise and rewards. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So the only way of coming out of this, what we call great resignation or great reshuffle is to have a transparent employee recognition system. A system where people are informed, apprised about the way what I call they are communicated, they are informed about their contribution, and their managers display vulnerability, and they have what I call what is called psychological safety. So there is no other way except to ensure employee recognition. We are all human beings, and human beings what I call crave for recognition. When the companies in general and then managers in what I call in particular, ensure employee recognition in a transparent way, frequently, by holding meaningful conversation, definitely I am sure none of the talented what I call people would like to what I call leave their companies. Thank you.